Live from the Bob Levy Broadcast Center, overlooking the Toms River, it's time to get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Be a part of the show, 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin, 7:09, Thursday, July 21st, 65 degrees, going up to 88 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pop app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are now, Zach, sometimes we are so planful that we have a smooth transition, where we have two very similar type guests.
Of course.
And then sometimes we just blow it the heck up, right?
Yeah.
And we do something completely different. So we go from transitioning the elderly into their next community to a rock cover band. I mean, why wouldn't we? So we have Captain Eric and the Shipwrecks here, Eric Clark, Mike Pape, Steve Schaefer. Good morning. How are you, fellas?
Morning.
That's awesome. So, and I don't know, do you perform a lot for the elderly? I mean, do you help with their transition into their senior living quarters or no?
We'd like to think that if we were, that we would do a very good job with it.
I have no doubt. We'll talk about what that playlist looks like later. But why don't you give me kind of an overview of the band? What kind of music do you do? What kind of venues do you perform at? What do you got?
One place we perform is a few feet from here at Water Street.
Okay.
And we perform in LBI, mostly all up and down the shore, from Belmar to LBI pretty much.
Yeah.
We're a cover band, so we do pretty much everything. We entertain pretty much any crowd, elderly, the young, the old, and everything in between. So.
And so how do you pick a song? Do you guys all have to agree on one, or if you hear something new that you like?
Very rarely do we agree.
Yeah.
And most of the music is sort of out of our comfort zone as far as what we would probably listen to on our own. But we just enjoy playing, and we enjoy playing for people and liking to see, we want to see them happy. So we try to tailor our set lists around what's hot, what's current, what people like have liked over time. So we try to really make it a fun night for everybody. So yeah, we hear a song, we're like, I think this could work, and I think it could work under the the instrumentation that we have.
Right.
And we put it together, and
Right.
hopefully it doesn't stink. That's the goal.
So it's really just a collection of Taylor Swift songs, is what you're telling me.
Absolutely.
We do some Taylor Swift.
We've done some Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah.
And it goes over very well.
Really?
Yeah.
Your own take on it, right?
It is our own take.
So what's your favorite? I mean, what do you like? What do you get? If I were to say to you, listen, we're gonna have a battle of the bands, right? Like old school style, right? And you got to pick the two songs that are going to define what you guys are all about. What would you say?
I think the funnest thing we do is we do a lot of mashups and medleys and stuff like that. So it's not just one or two songs.
That's a cop out.
We throw together. It sounds like it, but it's.
Go
ahead.
If we were asking me, I would have to say that we really enjoy playing the songs that everyone's somewhat familiar with, but we usually perform them in a way that no one has ever even considered when they were listening to it.
For example?
The first one that comes to mind would be No Diggity by Blackstreet.
Yeah.
A very old school hip hop song that we kind of turn into this very open jazz groove that no one really expects. At least that I never expected when we started arranging it.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it's good that we all sort of have different instrumental backgrounds, so it adds that little different flavors. When we're rehearsing, or we very rarely rehearse anymore, but when we do, and we get a chance to sort of be creative together, it comes together in what would be, in my opinion, a real cover. So we're not playing verbatim necessarily the song that you've come to know and love, but we're putting our own spin on it, breathing our own life into it. That's our job. That's what we're doing.
Right. Have you ever done something because you're putting your own spin on it and you play it at somewhere and everybody's like, oof, that wasn't where
Probably they just didn't tell us.
You mean like the venue didn't clear out? They weren't like, okay, check please. No.
It's amazing though. I mean, you can definitely get a read on a crowd, and when something is not working, then we sort of have some communication where we could say, yeah, maybe we'll don't want to play that again.
Yeah.
Or maybe we need to really juice them up and give them,
Right.
American Girl is always a great way to sort of bring it back in.
Go back to. But it's not like Roadhouse where they start throwing things at the stage. Like there's beer bottles coming at the stage.
It hasn't
right?
happened yet.
No.
All right, good. That's good because I don't know if we could deal with that. So we kind of started to go down this road. So let's start again. So we'll start with you, Captain Eric. So what is your background? Like what kind of got you into performing music specifically?
Well, I guess it has to do with, I started playing an instrument basically because my mother forced me into doing it. When I know. She said I had to play an instrument, so I picked the trumpet. It had 3 buttons, and that seemed easy enough.
That's good.
So that was my rationale behind that. But that led to being a French horn player and eventually taking that to a music degree at the College of New Jersey. I'm a product of the Toms River school system. I graduated from Toms River East.
Okay.
And very happy to be from Toms River. But now I'm a music teacher, and I teach in Manasquan, middle school music, loving it. This is just finished my first year, and I picked up guitar along the way and started singing and just enjoy it. And so we play. That's a lot.
So just so we can tie a little bow around that one. So as always, your mother may have been right.
My mother was absolutely
okay,
right.
Good. I just want to make
Yes,
sure because
yeah.
we have to learn that eventually mothers are always right. So
she was, and it was a good move for me, and that eventually, led me to finding these great guys, and and here we are. And the captain thing is because I am a licensed boat captain. I work on a charter boat called the Real Class with another captain, Alan Gonzalez. He owns and operates the boat. It's a great sport fishing boat if you ever want to go fishing.
So you're a teacher, a performer, and a boat captain.
Yeah, and I will sleep, I assume, when I retire.
Listen, you're preaching to the choir on that one. I totally get it. We can get to, let's see, Mike. What about you? What's your background? What's your story all about?
So I also began playing very early on. I actually had the same exact mindset as Eric, and I hope that none of my students hear this, but I decided either it was going to be drums or trumpet because those had the least amount of notes that I had to learn. And thankfully, I started playing drums. I started in 4th grade. I'm now 24. Went through Ocean County College, loved it. Went through Monmouth University, began as a music ed major, and quickly realized that music as a job was a little bit more difficult than I was ready for, and switched over to English as a secondary education major. Moved on to work with Toms River North once I graduated as a percussion tech there. Worked with John Grill, a former guest of the show.
Yep.
And now I work there as a high school English teacher. And I absolutely love it.
Freudian slip.
I get to do both, which is something that's so amazing for me, and I'm very, very thankful for all the people that have helped me along the way.
That's awesome. And Steve, the newest Shipwreck, we're going to get to you in 1 second because we're up against the break. But you know what, Steve? We get to use you as the teaser for when we come back because we're going to hear your story right here on Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin right after this.
Everything you need to know about the Jersey Shore. This is Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160 and 1310.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. We are here with Captain Eric and the Shipwrecks, otherwise known as Eric Clark, Mike Pape, and Steve Schaefer. And so we've heard 2/3 of the story. So, Steve, as the newest Shipwreck, first of all, why don't you give us your story? How you ended up here with the good, the bad, the ugly. Go ahead.
Well, it starts with I guess I was originally inspired to play music watching the Who smash their guitars when I was a kid, and that originally made me want to play guitar. Eventually I decided not to smash the guitar anymore, so I learned how to play it. I went to the College of New Jersey. That's where I met Eric. And got a degree in music, and currently I teach band and instrumental music up in Clinton Township, which is where I live. And really all throughout those years, I've been performing, doing different gigs, everything from playing with a band to playing solo classical guitar and stuff like that. So that's what kind of led me into playing with these guys. I just wish I'd done it earlier.
So how do you end up from Clinton? Hooking up with a band down here.
Well, Eric calls me up, and he knew I lived kind of far away, but like I said, we were friends in college, and he almost seemed like he felt bad asking me, but he's like, "Hey, we need a guitar player," and he's like, would you fill in for some shows? And I did. And then, 3 years later, here I am still driving down to the shore. So, but
we haven't given him that
was-
permanent spot yet,
yeah.
but he's
He's
not
still
adequately.
interim.
See,
Still
I
interim?
mean, you're even still calling me the new guy, So.
Well, it's I know it's still 3 years, but,
Yeah.
but I can only go by the website. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just you're the
Who
newest.
does that website, by the way?
You're the newest shipwreck. I guess the question. But I guess it works out. I mean, you have a wife and you have a child, right?
Correct.
So it's better to be farther away.
Yeah, I mean, it keeps that far away from
Right.
the situation.
Right.
It's all good.
Right. There's some kind of. I mean, I know there was a state rule, but I mean, there could be a county rule too. I don't know what the. Anyway, I'm probably.
codes, yeah, gotcha.
I'm probably getting off on a tangent that I shouldn't get onto. So give me what a typical week for you looks like in the summer, right? So you're working, doing the regular thing. So what does the gig schedule look like?
Usually, so every Monday night, I play by myself, so you can get Captain Eric solo. No hecklers this time. Captain Eric solo over at the Seashell Resort. And then, so that's our Monday. That's like my Monday night thing. And then Thursday, we do this Shipwreck duo, and we're hoping to get Mikey out there doing a little bit. We do that. We kind of bounce between the Water Street here in Toms River and the Captain's Inn in Forked River. And we do like a acoustic duo sort of a thing. It's a little bit different show. Actually, it's a lot different show. It's a good time. It's another way for us to be creative. And then on the weekends, it's romping, stomping, rootin', tootin',
All kinds of good stuff.
bar band. Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's exactly how I would describe it. No, but we're a club band during the weekends, and it's high energy. It's a great show. It's filled with lots of medleys. We like to think of we're taking everybody on a musical adventure because you never know what turn we're going to take, and we're doing this power half-hour thing. We do a different song every minute, and it's cool. It's good. That's a typical week, like 3, 4, 5 nights a week. We're out there playing.
Wow. Yeah. So wow. All right. So when we come back, because we're up against a break, I want to, aside from the fact that we're giving you all your magic wands, and there's all kinds of jokes that go along with that also. But besides that, I want to know, like, how do you find the free time? How do you fit it all in? When do you sleep? When do you relax? I mean, it's you're living the rock and roll lifestyle without completely the whole rock and roll lifestyle. So we got to figure this out. Captain Eric and the Shipwrecks, very interesting, great cover band here at the Jersey Shore. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. No Kevin Williams, but everything's okay, folks. Don't worry, it's all going to be okay. We're going to give you Sean Hannity instead. Almost the same thing. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Back after this.
Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Hey, welcome back. Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin, 7:34, Thursday, July 21st, 65 degrees, going up to 88 today. WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. News Talk Radio, streaming live on the Radio Pup app and WOBMAM.com. 732-505-1160 to join the conversation. We are joined in studio by Eric Clark, Mike Pape, Steve Schaefer, Captain Eric and the Shipwrecks. And so when we left, like, you guys all have like full-time jobs, right? Wives or significant others, kids, some of you, and then like the summer schedule is craziness. How do you do it? Where do you sleep? I mean, how does it happen?
It is definitely difficult balancing family and friends and life in general along with what we do, but I think we're all really blessed to have family and friends that support us, and that's really where it all comes from. As Eric said earlier off the air, we can sleep when we're dead or when we retire, but the important thing is that we have family and friends that really support us through our summer schedule, which is really challenging on not only ourselves but the people around us. But we are so passionate about what we do, and we've found a way to hold on to our outlet, found a way to hold on to our passion, and we just take every day and every show as a blessing. There are nights, when we're counting the clock and counting the hours and counting the songs, but it's definitely something that we're blessed to do every time we get up there.
Can you give me a quick recap of which those shows were that you felt like that? No, you don't. No, I just thought maybe we could get that.
No,
nothing.
we're gonna let that go.
We're gonna pass on that. Okay. Listen. So I think I would imagine that it's not a problem when you're on stage because the adrenaline is flowing and it's totally like no matter how tired you were or whatever, you get going. It's probably the next day. Or the drive home after that.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's exactly right. You're on stage, you have the adrenaline going, especially when there's a good crowd, and the drive home is tough. I mean, I go home at 4 o'clock in the morning usually.
Yeah.
And we're all teachers, so this time of year is not quite as bad. But during the school year, when our bodies are used to getting up at 5:30.
Yeah.
And then like on a Friday night, it's almost a 24-hour day.
Yeah.
So. Coffee works good. I didn't drink coffee until this year, honestly.
Right.
And of course, I have a 2.5-year-old at home, so it's there's not much time for sleep.
Yeah,
so.
It's funny because people ask me the same thing because I get up at 4 every morning to get here, and that wasn't my normal thing. And they, and everybody says to me, "Well, you have so much energy when you're on the air." I said, "Yeah, that's not the problem. The problem isn't when I'm on the air because that's like an adrenaline rush. You're going, you got this. You know what I mean? It's entertaining." It's as soon as I get in the car afterwards and go, oh my God, now I have to work, right? And you're like and the rest of your day is like that like struggle to just fight to survive.
Absolutely.
All right, enough of this and enough about me. It's that time. We give you your magic wand, your pixie dust, your fairy dust, your ability just to wiggle your nose and make an impact on the world, or on your own pocketbook if you so choose. Captain Eric and the Shipwrecks. I'm going to give each of you a magic wand to do what you do, and I'm going to start, because it's been the theme. I'm going to start with Steve because they called it on Full Metal Jacket. It was called the FNG, but I can't say what that is because we're on. All right, so go ahead.
I'm the oldest of the band.
Yes.
I get reminded of that frequently.
Respect your elders.
I'm a music educator, so there's obviously. Music being cut from schools and everything, and so that'd be the main thing, I guess, is to keep that going. It's such an important. I can go on all day about how important that is, for our students and for education in general, and just to keep that going and help it to grow, I guess would be the main thing.
That's awesome. Yeah. Mike,
I echo a lot of what Steve says, but I think in a more general aspect, I would just improve the respect between community members, between individuals, and it probably sounds kind of cheesy, but I'm kind of like the weird little hipster hippie of the group. So I try to be optimistic as much as possible. So my magic wand would definitely lend itself to a world of just people respecting one another, regardless of backgrounds, regardless of class, race, anything like that.
That's beautiful. I teared up a little bit there. I will say that there's a big difference now between 2016 and the original hippies because the original hippies had way more hair.
Yeah.
Just saying. I'm just saying. And this is coming from a pretty much bald guy. So I just want to make sure that we're clear.
He's
there.
like a tiny hipster Buddha.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
That's there seems like there should be an action figure or a stuffed animal involved there. Captain Eric.
I echo a lot of the same sentiments, and I guess just sort of to expand upon that, tolerance I think is a very important topic, and if there is a way to spread tolerance, not just within the way that we sort of interact with one another as humans, but then also as how we listen to music and having an open mind, being able to be receptive to new forms, and not having these preconceived notions of I like this, I don't like that. It's funny how they sort of go hand in hand with some of these social issues that we're dealing with right now. So a little tolerance.
Oh, look at that. So no 100-foot walls is what you're saying. Okay, got it.
We can build a wall.
Yeah, build a wall. It's funny. Your guys' magic wands. You each expanded on each other. It kind of made me think of those. Those like Chinese nesting dolls. Right, it was like we started with like the little one, then we put it inside the. Anyway, that's where my warped mind went. Yeah, you don't have to raise your hand. You can just speak freely.
I was just gonna say, if I could add one thing to my magic wand, I would like our one of our founding members and our only buddy that couldn't be here, Dave Cohen. he's busy with PSE&G making sure that all the power stays on. But the other aspect of my magic wand, I would love for him to be here with us. So, hey, Dave.
Yeah. Hi, Dave. We miss you, Dave.
Oh, now you totally are the little hipster, warm
And
fuzzy
Dave
guy.
would call him that.
All right, cool. All right, so where can everybody go to find more about where you guys are performing, what you guys are doing, what you're up to, if they're so intrigued by hearing your stories today that they want to go hear you play?
Well, tomorrow we're going to be over at the Captain's Inn down in Forked River. We'll play at the Tiki Bar, so like a 6 to 10. It's a great night. It's a great venue. And Saturday we have a double duty shift over at the Seashell Resort in Long Beach Island, Beach Haven. So we're doing like a 3:30 to 7:30 at the pool, which is all ages. It's a great place right on the beach. I mean, perfect ambiance. And then we go into the club for like a 10:30 to 2 o'clock in the morning sort of a shift. It's a long day, but
That is a long night.
you got to love it. And so it's two totally sort of different shows, more laid back by the pool. And then the club, it's a hard charging. But then we have a Facebook page. Please like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Captain Eric and the Shipwrecks. You spell it all the way out, Captain Eric and the Shipwrecks. And then we do have a website, again, captainericintheshipwrecks.weebly.com. And we have everything there as far as our schedule.
Cool. Do these venues they keep you fed and hydrated?
They pretty much do.
They do.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's funny because we had a little bit of a setback the last time we were at the Captain's Inn, and the bar manager Siobhan comes up to us and she's like, "Did you eat today? Did you eat? 'Cause you need to make sure you eat."
You a little setback. What do you mean? Like
we had some traffic issues, so people were
I thought
arriving
maybe-
at different times.
I thought you had like a Trace Adkins setback, and they were like, "Oh, you need to eat more because you haven't properly balanced food and beverage."
I feel like we're not living the rock star lifestyle in that
Got
regard,
it,
because
okay.
I feel like our bar tab is like negative money
Gotcha.
at the end of the
Okay.
night.
We're pretty lame when it comes to that. Okay.
Eric Clark, Mike Pape, Steve Schaefer, Captain Eric, and the Shipwrecks. Guys, thank you so much for joining some time. And most importantly, thank you for bringing me the Bedrock Flintstones donut from Uncle Dude's Donut next door.
very welcome.
Classic.
That's the way to get a layup of an interview out of me. So great job, guys.
Thank you so much for
Enjoy
having
the
me.
rest of your summer. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin back after this.